Hello everyone, how you doing? It's Andre here, Licensed Immigration Advisor. In this video I got some pretty massive news. The New Zealand government has announced their plan to reopen New Zealand to the world, and they've released their 5 steps for what's going to happen with the New Zealand border. So I'm going to quickly go over the steps and explain what exactly do they mean. I just broke my last good microphone, so the audio in this video probably won't be perfect, but I'm hoping you can all hear what I'm going to say. I'll also be putting up the policy on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about as well. So step 1, this is going to be happening at 27th February 2022. So this will be New Zealanders in Australia. So New Zealanders in Australia, they'll be able to travel back to New Zealand. They won't need to stay in MIQ. They won't need to quarantine at a facility. They can just quarantine, do a home quarantine at home. So that's pretty great, and that'll also apply to a few Pacific Islands as well. Step 2 is for New Zealanders around the world, so you don't just have to be in Australia, you can be anywhere in the world. If you're fully vaccinated, you can come back to New Zealand, don't need to stay at MIQ, you can just do the home quarantine. That'll also apply to a few more Pacific Islands, and at that time the working holiday schemes, some of them might reopen. There's like 70 different working holiday schemes, and the rules are different for every country, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to open up all those schemes, but maybe they'll be able to open up a few of them, but we'll see what happens. The other thing is they're changing their salary criteria for critical workers who can come to New Zealand. So basically on 13th March, if you're getting paid 1.5 times the median wage, you might be able to come to New Zealand. So the current median wage is $27 per hour. 1.5 times $27 is $40.50 if my maths is correct. So if you're getting paid that high wage or salary, or the equivalent salary, you might be able to come to New Zealand as well. You need to be fully vaccinated. You won't need to stay in MIQ. And okay, step 3 will be for temporary visa holders and international students. So if you're a temporary visa holder, maybe you got your visa granted before coronavirus hit, before the border closure, and you couldn't come to New Zealand, or you've been living in New Zealand with a temporary visa and then you left New Zealand maybe for family reasons, and then you got trapped outside. You might be able to come back to New Zealand assuming you can meet all your visa conditions, which if you have a work visa, that will require you to still have your same employment, so you still might need to have the same job. But we'll see what exactly happens with that criteria, because they haven't clarified it very much. The other thing is up to 5,000 international students might be able to come at that time, so 12th April, and that'll be from 12th April to try and get them in for the second semester, which starts about July. It does say up to 5,000. I think they won't be able to get in 5,000, that's too many, but it says up to 5,000, so we'll see how many international students they let in, but my guess is it won't be that many. And they'll also be expanding the other general criteria for entry, so for critical workers and maybe for sports and other events, you might be able to get more opportunities to enter New Zealand. So that's step 3. Step 4, the borders to Australia reopen in July. So basically, borders open to Australia, and visitors from visa waiver countries might be able to come to New Zealand without quarantine, without MIQ. Visa waiver countries basically just mean relatively wealthy countries. And also some accredited employer work visa holders might be able to come in July. So to quickly explain what that means, New Zealand is transferring to this new immigration system where employers have to be accredited, and then workers can get an accredited employer work visa to work for that accredited company. New Zealand's previously had an accredited employer system, but this is like a completely new system, so just forget anything you thought you knew about the accredited employer system, because this is all completely new and it's completely different and completely separate. So this doesn't apply if you held like a accredited employer visa under the old system. This just applies to the new system. Okay, and alright, that's about it for step 4. And then in step 5, this is October 2022, most visa categories were open, so visit visas, student visas, work visas, all that. So hopefully the final border reopening will be finished by October 2022. But we'll see what happens. The government's pretty slow at doing anything, so it might go a bit slower than that, but we'll see. But it does look promising for anyone who wants to move to New Zealand in 2022 or come back to New Zealand in 2022 because they got trapped outside. So yeah, anyway, when we get more clarification about what these rules mean, I'll be posting more updates, but they'll still need to finalise the rules and write the immigration policy and do all that. But I will be posting more updates, and if this video was helpful, please like, please share, please subscribe, and I will see you all later.